talking about some good news. Who wants to share some stuff about Bold from yesterday? Who took Bold and has a powerful message that they want to make sure everyone heard loud and clear? All right, should I start off with some jokes or something? Need to do some jumping jacks?
Yes, tell us a joke.
This thing working? Just kidding. I have like, 2-year-old jokes and wildly inappropriate jokes. I don't have anything in between.
Oh my God, that's so funny, Bill. That's so funny.
I got a good 2-year-old joke. You want a good 2-year-old joke?
Okay, let's hear it.
What's the same size as a human but doesn't weigh anything?
I don't know.
A human shadow.
Oh my goodness.
All right. No inappropriate jokes today. That's all you guys get. All right. Share something with Bold. Come on. I didn't get a single laugh from that. Man, I guess it is.
I did. I thought it was funny.
2-year-old joke. All right. Show me some faces out there. I'm looking at a bunch of black squares. Heather, you're the only one I can see. Heather's ready for some role play today. Okay, who's in Bold right now? Will you please share something?
I am, and this is Jenny. And can you hear me?
I can.
I like the Bold Laws, and I'm going to order the poster with the Bold Laws on it and put it in my office.
I love that.
One thing. They have a poster.
How many times have you taken Bold?
This is my third.
Okay. I knew you hadn't taken it like 20 times, but I was pretty sure you had taken it a couple times.
Yes.
Why did you choose to do it again?
I'll take it probably every time.
All right, you got 15 witnesses now.
I mean, I said probably.
All right.
It's just part of what the successful agents do.
Very, very well said. I love that. One thing that I really liked about Bold, and truth be told, I'm only about 25 minutes into the session, but they talked about the importance of desire and commitment. Desire and commitment, right? So every day we should be evaluating what are we desiring and really why are we desiring that? And how committed are we, right? Are you more committed to your current life? And I'm not saying there's things wrong with that, but if you're here to make an improvement in any way, whatever that means to you, then you're going to most likely have to adjust your desire a tiny bit and your commitment a tiny bit.
Which is your one thing. Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Anyone else want to share anything? Nope. Okay.
I just find that.
Oh, now everyone's talking.
Go ahead, Donna. I just find that it gives me just such a mindset that I don't get anywhere else. And it's just like we talked earlier this morning, is that it's the little pieces, because I have the big pieces from attending all the time. For the most part, sometimes the material changes, and it has with Bold Pivot a lot, which is nice because every time, this is the third time I'm going to take Bold Pivot. Every time has been different so far. So I'm looking forward to some new material. I've not taken it truly in the fall. It's normally this time of year every year. And I feel like I need it more so right now than I have. It's always been such a distraction to me, and I shouldn't say this, I'm sorry, Bill, but it's been a distraction to me taking it in the spring session, because that's when I'm most busy and working the hardest in my business. And so this is where I need the biggest boost and the biggest mindset reset.
I think that's really well said. And part of growing together, guys, is being vulnerable with each other. So I appreciate you sharing that, Jan. I've heard that feedback many times, is taking it in the springtime. It kind of feels just like a lot of times we're really busy in the springtime, and it just seems like a chore. It's like an extra work. The one thing that I've always tried to communicate to agents, though, is that Bold is not it's not extra work, it's just work, right? This is what we do. We come in every day, we have a professional environment, we speak to people about real estate, and we learn about the market, and we practice getting better, and we take steps each day to continue to build the framework for our business, right? So sometimes people are like, oh, I got to do bold. You're not doing bold, you're just making calls, right? You're just speaking to people, you're growing your database. So we're going to continue to spend a couple minutes each morning after bold and just give people a forum to share what they're learning, and if they're making any if they're adopting any new ideas or new practices in their business that others could benefit from. I want to give you the opportunity to do that. And for those that I've said it before, I've actually said it quite a bit in the last week, is right around this time is right when most realtors kind of drop off for the year. So, yeah, COVID, I'm tired, it's the holidays, kids are back in school, yada, yada, and they quit working. And if you can push really hard now, you will take market share, and you will start off January with a handful of closings, and it will propel you to a fabulous 2021. This is,
That's a great point.
We run on a 90-day cycle. So if today you look at your business and you say, I ain't got no one to speak to, I don't have any active business, I don't know who I'm going to meet with next, I could probably look in your calendar from 90 days ago and see that you weren't purposeful in your activities, right? And that's why you are where you are right this moment. So can we make a commitment to ourselves, no matter how big or small the numbers are? Can we get purposeful about our desire to build this business and our commitment to the daily activities that we've got to do? I don't care if you talk to 2 people a day, just commit to doing it, and don't put your head to the pillow until it's done. And then when you prove to yourself that that can happen, let's try 3 tomorrow. Make sense?
You know what I hadn't thought about, Bill, is a lot of times people may say, when I get through the holidays, I want to list my house like in January. I've never thought about that. Like they want to get through the holidays, and then they starting in January, they want to get ready to sell or list or whatever.
And so hearing what you just heard, do you have like a kind of a different approach on how you might address some of this?
Oh yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, I hadn't thought about that.
I'm looking for this this meme that's hilarious. You know, everyone says, oh, call me after the new year, call me after the new year. And for years I've had like, you know, a list of 80 people that I'm going to call on January 1st, right? And I take that super literally. Call me after New Year. Okay, great. I'll call you at 9 a.m. on January 1st. Right? And maybe 8 a.m. on January 1st. Right? And it's like this picture of this guy walking down the street and a realtor coming out like this behind him, like, you told me to call you on January 1st, right after the new year.
Funny.
But guys, make a list of all these people. Ask them, hey, what's important to you about listing right after the holidays? Right? I've done deals on December 24th. I've written contracts on Christmas Day. I
have too. Yep.
Right?
Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Some serious buyers out there at that time who are super motivated, right? And great, if you want to list on January 1st and the Christmas tree is down and all that, let's talk about strategy to getting your home prepped now. Why not? Let's not initiate the conversation on January 1st if that's when you want to list, right?
Well, right. And they may want to move after Christmas, you know, like that week they have off before January 1st. I hadn't thought about that either.
Right. Oftentimes you can ask them a question, 1 or 2 more questions, and you'll have a much better idea of what's really behind the words that they're using. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's talk, let's just do a tiny bit of scheduling housekeeping real fast, and then we'll move right into our role play for the day. Okay, so tomorrow there's been a link on the newsletter for a little while about Mega Agent Day. That is a free registration. It is from 9:30 to 12:30 tomorrow. 9:30 to 12:30 tomorrow. And then I'm still trying to finalize my guest, but Friday from 12 to 1, we'll have a success series with the top producer in the office. And our launch mastermind will be Friday from 1 to 2, and we'll be focusing on contracts. So I think last time we did the buyer agency agreement. This time I want to work on the seller listing agreement, but I also want to spend a little bit of time on like what kind of makes an offer. Like when we submit an offer, what does that include, right? A pre-qualification letter, a financing exhibit, a purchase and sale agreement, like the copy of the earnest money check. Like I want to make sure that you're clear on what that actually is comprised of, right? Because the last thing we want to do is submit an offer that looks sloppy to the other side, because then they'll say, oh my gosh, this person doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, and then next week, next Thursday, there is the other part of Mega Agent Day. There's also a registration link for that on the newsletter. That one's going to be from 1:30 to 4:30. By the way, this is a big event for free that's being put on by the Southeast region. And they've got about 25 different speakers, top producers in the region, that are going to be sharing ideas on building their business and growth, and how to manage everything during COVID and whatnot. And then the 27th, next Tuesday from 1 to 2, I want to remind everyone about Chartmasters. Andy and Leslie are going to be presenting Chartmasters. Aubrey went over a few of my favorite slides yesterday, but there's going to be a full presentation on Chartmasters so you can really understand what's going on in the marketplace, and then having a better grip on how to share that information with your clients and how to use particular slides with different clients. So for example, you might show the slide that they looked at yesterday, where it's over 50% of homes are selling at list price or above list price. You should not be having a buyer consultation with any buyer. I don't care if they're your friend, family, stranger, whoever. You've got to show them that slide. Greta, let me share a little piece of information. I'm not speaking to you exactly, but I'm just giving you an example, right? Greta, I want you to be successful. I'm sure you want to be successful in the home buying process. I need you to understand a couple of things about the market though, okay? You want to buy a $275,000 home, and according to this graph, 48% of buyers are paying list price or more than list price to purchase the home. So I have a question for you. If I take you to the home that is exactly what you're describing, and you ultimately end up having to pay list price or more than list price for the home, how would you feel about that, right? And at that moment, you're going to gauge how realistic of a prospect they are. Right now, by the way, I'm not suggesting you overpay for the home. There'll be plenty of contingencies in the contract that protect you for a variety of things. I'm just saying mentally, a lot of buyers don't really want to pay over list price. They think they're not getting a deal, right? So I want to kind of gauge that person's tolerance to that, right? If they were to say, well, I'm not paying 100% of list price, I was thinking more like 85% of list price. And I might say, well, I've looked over the last 300,000 sales in Metro Atlanta, and there hadn't been a single one at 85% of list price. So I need you to understand what being successful might look like. Is this something you want to work with, right? So you can also do kind of a little gut check with a buyer at the consultation. I always used to do this, where I'd say something to the effect of, so Heather, I want to let you know that the average buyer that I work with looks at 6 to 8 homes before they select the one they want to pursue. How do you feel about that? And then I stop talking and I let them respond. I don't care how awkward or how long that pause is. I want to hear what they say. I will sit there for 10 minutes and not say a word if necessary. I want to hear how they respond. Okay. And they're probably going to respond in one of two ways. One is going to be, yeah, I mean, you're busy, I'm busy. Why would we look at more than that? Right? You probably know the market really well. I'm going to be really specific on the type of property I'm looking for. I don't want to waste time. Just take me to what I want to see. Let's write it up. Right? That could be one approach. Yeah. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this might be an easy one. Right? Or they're going to be like, well, actually, Bill, I was thinking about 6 to 8 homes Monday, and then 6 to 8 homes again on Tuesday, and then 6 to 8 homes again on Wednesday. And then my aunt from Chattanooga is going to look at all her favorites. She wants to come in on Saturday, so I'd like to spend all day Saturday with you. And then my uncle from Greenville is going to come in. We're going to look at our favorites on Sunday with him. Is that cool? And you're like, no, that's actually not cool at all. No, we're not doing that, right? And then you might have a realization that the person that you thought was an opportunity is actually not as much of an opportunity as you thought they were. Does that make sense? So I know we're a little off topic here, but my point is that you've got to have a gut check with your client to determine, I hate to say it this way, but how crazy are you? Like, I only leave my house for I only have a certain tolerance for crazy, right? Everyone's a little odd, I get it. But if you're crazy, if you're not respectful of my time, if you're a bigot, if you don't do anything that I ask you to do, if you can't decide if you want to live in Dawsonville or Stockbridge, and you're not interested in going to check out the areas alone before I'm dragged into the mix, like, you got some work to do before we start working together, if we even decide to work together. Does that make sense?
Bill, is there a speech or something that you can say whenever, so like, I feel like if people want to look at 25 or 30 homes, or if they're not realizing that they're going to be paying list price or more, it's almost like you need to have a conversation about the way we used to do real estate and the way we do real estate now. That homes are priced properly, that there's not a whole lot of negotiating on price now like there was 10 years ago or whatever.
So I find that when you say the words that you just said, Jenny, like, there's not a lot of negotiating, in these kind of somewhat ethereal words, like kind of vague words, it doesn't resonate. What you would say is, hey, let me show you some statistics. Okay, you want to buy a home in River Eves Elementary School District. Okay, here is a list of all the homes that have sold between 300,000 and 500,000 in the last 3 months. Okay, the average property has sold for 99.9% of list price. I'm just making that up, but I would suspect probably pretty close to that, right? So I want you to see that. Now, the average home is sold in 6 days. I need you to see that it's a very fast moving market. So there's basically two options. Either you can hear what I'm saying and we can evaluate the data together so that we're on the same page with how to be successful, or we can go find the ideal property for you and you can try it your way and lose it for you to decide. So would you rather—
Oh, that's a great way to say it.
Would you rather listen to the fact that you need to behave a certain way, or would you rather experience the loss of the property you really want?
I love that. And I love the statistics. And then you can say, no, we can try it your way. If you feel strongly about that.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I don't want to try it their way. I've been in this business 15 years. I already know the way that's going to work.
That's what I got to work on. I got to work on that. Like, I've got to work on taking control of, like, understanding statistics and explaining them. I've really got to work on that.
It's really, it's like I was taught, and when I first heard this, I thought the guy was insane. Okay. And every day that I think about it, I'm more convinced this is true. Okay. He said, if you show more than 5 properties to somebody, one of 2 things is happening. Either you don't understand the market enough, right? Or you haven't asked the buyer enough questions.
I love that.
Right. Now, I think 5 personally is a little on the low side, but I'd say certainly no more than 9 or 10. Right.
I remember Joanne or somebody telling us I can't remember who it was, in one of the classes, they said, I'll send you 100 homes and you narrow it down to 40, that you really like. I'll look at those 40, and based on what I know about the market, I'll whittle it down to about, 20, and then we'll talk. And the first day we'll go look at 5 or 6, and the second day we'll go look at 5 or 6, and we should find your home by then.
Yeah, I think that could help them along with the process. I would be likely to say that Joanne said that sometime between 2010 and 2014.
That's right. That was it was. That's okay. Right.
She did not say that in the last 6 years. I can promise you that. Okay.
That's true.
Right.
I can't remember if it was her or not.
That's a line that I would have said when there was, 12 and a half months of supply and homes would sit on the market forever and ever and ever. We don't have the luxury of that anymore, right? So what I mean by you don't know the market well enough is you don't know the statistics, you don't know the trends, you don't know the metrics. Maybe let's say you want to sell in Alpharetta, yet you don't know any of the neighborhoods in Alpharetta. Like, walk me through that. That's not an alignment, right?
Right.
So if you intend to sell $400,000 homes in Alpharetta, you should be aware of every neighborhood that's got $400,000 homes in Alpharetta. And you ought to know when they come on the market, you ought to go look at them. We can preview homes. We don't have to be with a buyer, right? Hey, this is Greta from Keller Williams in Roswell. I'd like to preview your listing at 123 Hill Street between 2 and 2:30 tomorrow. Would that be okay? Of course, right?
What did you say? Statistics, metrics, and what else?
Trends. I mean,
Yep.
We're just the details, right? So like, you don't want to get into a situation. Let's say, Jenny, I was your buyer and I said, hey, Jenny, I want to live in Alpharetta and I need a 5-bedroom home with a basement, and I need it to be built in the last 10 years, and my budget is $300,000. And you said, oh, great, sounds great. Let me go back to the computer and I'll look it up and I'll send you all the homes that match. Okay, and what's going to happen is you're going to go to the computer, you're going to
zero
up, and there's not going to be a single home that matches. Okay, the last time there was a match for that was like 1997. Okay, it doesn't exist anymore.
That's a great way to say it, Bill, because I have a client that has unrealistic expectations. So that is exactly great.
Well, I don't know if sometimes I can come off as a bit of a smartass, and that's why I generally moved away from working with buyers, because I would let it fly every once in a while, and it didn't work that well, right? And the fact of the matter is look, let's sit down at the computer together, okay? But let me finish that point. You don't want to say, oh, great, I'll send you the results, and then there's no results, and you call them back and say, well, actually, I put in all that criteria and there's no results. And they're like, well, of course, it's not 1997. What kind of realtor are you? You told me you work in Alpharetta. Are you kidding me? Right? You got to take your job seriously. You need to know the inventory, right? That's it's like you got to know what content you got in your store. If you went to Home Depot and you asked the dude for a wrench and the guy didn't even know where the wrenches were, you'd be like, wait a second, are you serious here? Is this your place of employment? Like, you don't even know the product. Walk me through that, right? Now, as far as helping them understand where you the data of the marketplace, right? I have sat down a buyer with similar needs, said, let's do this together. I want you to know that I'm a trustworthy guy. I'm not hiding listings from you. Why would that make sense, right? So let's sit down right here, okay, and let's play on the computer together. You want a home in Alpharetta? Great. There's 1,200 homes available. You want a home with 5 bedrooms? Great. Now we're down to 400 homes. Okay. Next most important criteria, you need a basement? Cool. Now we're down to 250 homes. Okay. Now you want to live in a community with a swim and tennis? Okay, great. Now we're down to 120 homes. Okay. Now you want a home with the master on the main? Okay. Now we're down to 42 homes. Now you want a home with that's $400,000? 0. I'm not hiding anything, okay? So you got a couple of choices. We can either adjust some of the things that you just told me you needed in the appropriate order, or we can choose a different place to live, or a different price range, or maybe the swim and tennis isn't as important, or maybe the master on the main isn't as important. So we have to really go back and then say, so let's start over. Let's try again. What's the most important criteria? Master on the main. What's the next one? 400,000. Great. Would you consider living in Sugar Hill? Would you consider living in Buford? Would you consider living in Smyrna? Because Alpharetta, you're not going to find that. Okay. So would you rather live in a 4-bedroom home on a slab in Alpharetta, or would you rather live on a 5-bedroom home with a basement in Duluth? Well, I work in Midtown. Say, great. So Monday, you're gonna drive from Duluth to work, and you're gonna see what that's like. And Tuesday, you're gonna drive from Duluth to Midtown, and you're gonna see how that's like. Because I don't want you to do the commute for the first time from your new home to work the day after you bought it. It doesn't make any sense, right? Let's try it out during the due diligence period so that you can actually determine, or prior to the due diligence period, to make sure that we're searching in an area that's going to be a match, right? It's all more questions. All your problems can be solved by asking more questions, right? I want a big yard. Big yard means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Can you describe a big yard for me, please? What does it mean to you? Right? Oh, well, it needs to be big enough to have a play set. Great. So it sounds like a play set is important to me. Why is that important to you? Right? Or I shouldn't say why. What's important about a play set to you? Well, I grew up with a play set, and it's really important that my kids have a similar upbringing. Wonderful. Okay, so now all I have to do is look at the backyards of all these homes, and if it's not big enough for a play set, I'm not taking them to it. That's a waste of time. It's a waste of my time, and it's a waste of their time. And it's actually even worse than that, because it's not only a waste of their time, it's proof you're not even paying attention. Because you'll take them to a home with a yard that's not big enough for a play set, and they will say, hey, Bill, do you recall when you must have too many clients? You must be too busy to remember me and my specific needs. And I'm frustrated that you're wasting my time, and so you're fired. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important not only to internalize your scripts so you can be actively listening, but you're actually proving to the client, the prospect, that you're listening by taking them to fewer homes, right? And you can let them know that, hey, your time's valuable, right? You don't need to see 2,500 homes. I'm in the market every day. I'm going to take you to the best ones, right? I don't want you to buy a dumpy house, because you'll be calling me in 3 years to list a dumpy house. Then we'll be arguing about the price, right? Let's go find the best house in the universe that fits your criteria. Does that make sense? What are we hearing? Any takeaways? Any questions? Any? You want to challenge me on anything? Anything like that? Is this helpful?
Yes.
It's all
every time I talk to you.
All expectation setting. It's you throw something out there, you see how they react to it, right? And I remember very, very specifically, I had a guy who I pushed a little bit, probably too hard in hindsight for the appointment. We met in September-ish or so. The guy didn't want to buy a home until May. And he was the one that I came up with that story, like, oh, we're going to look at 8 homes Tuesday, 8 more on Wednesday, yada, yada. My aunt's coming from Chattanooga to look at them all on Sunday. And I'm like, look, here's the thing. We're not going to need to do any of that, because I know the market really well, and I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, and then I'm just going to take you right to the home. So don't be surprised, by the way, if you want to buy the first home you see, right? That's my job, is to take you to exactly what the best fit is based on what you're telling me you desire. So don't be surprised if that actually happens, right? And then you give them permission. You're basically giving them permission to be cool with going to the first home, right? Jenny and I were talking about this the other day. Now, I tell you, I didn't learn this until I really stopped working with buyers, but I think it's a great idea, okay, where, and you got to be careful about this. You really have to practice this, okay? But I used to show homes in the order in which, like, where was my previous appointment and where was I headed after that appointment, right? So if I had a previous appointment in Woodstock and I was showing then homes in Roswell, I would show the homes on like the west side of Roswell, and then move along Holcomb Bridge up to Old Alabama and show the homes over on the east side of Roswell, because then I was hopping on the highway to go home, right? There was no rhyme or reason to where we started or in what order we went, okay? This gentleman that taught me this said, that's not the right way to do it. Okay, you tell them right off the bat, look, I know the market really well. The first home I show you today is going to be the best one. And the second one I show you is not going to be quite as pretty. It's not going to be as perfect of a match for your criteria as the first home. The third home we look at today is going to be even worse. The fourth home we look at is going to be even worse. And they're like, Okay. And so you're zigging, zagging around Roswell, and they're like, well, what is he doing? Say, look, I told you, I'm going to show you the best house first. Okay. It's a fast moving market. We have to be aggressive. Okay. So you show them the first house and they're like, wow, this is awesome. Ready to write it up? No, I want to see the second ugliest house, second prettiest house. All right, get in the car. Show them the second prettiest house, and they're like, you weren't kidding.
I like what you said about being aggressive. We're going to be aggressive.
Look, we're not. Oh my gosh, I know I'm going to sound harsh here. I don't need any, like, I'm not being hired to be their friend. I'm being hired to get the job done. I got enough friends, and they got enough friends. Okay, they're hiring me to get the job done. Does that make sense?
Bill, I have a question for you, okay?
Yeah,
because
please.
that is like always a thin line of communication. I know for me, because I honestly have a pet peeve. I don't like people to waste my time, right?
Yeah.
So at the same token, when you're giving them exactly what they say that they want, and you reiterate, this is what you told me that you were looking for, we're here, let's move forward, and there is hesitation. Tell me your thoughts about continually showing other properties or just going on to something else after we've already identified what you said that you wanted, because
A good question.
it makes me feel like, you wasting my time, and it bothers me. So, so I really want to hear what your thoughts are on that.
Okay, so we must have the ability to go from assertive and aggressive and direct to empathetic and patient and do some hand holding. I mean, we're gonna ping pong back and forth the rest of our lives. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got to give people grace a little bit. Okay, particularly people that have not operated in this type of environment before, or maybe even have ever transacted a sale before, right? Ever bought a place or ever sold a place before. They get out into the marketplace and there may be a disconnect between what they're seeing and what they wanted to see, right? And so we can kind of go from that, well, just tell me where you want to live and how much you want to spend and what's important to you. Hurry, hurry, hurry. And they're like, well, and they're not ready to spit that out, or they think they know, but then once they see a few places, it might adjust or something like that, right? So I remember a client that had given me a whole list of stuff that he wanted in Marietta. He was looking for a home in Marietta, and this was when the market wasn't that good, and so there was a lot of quote deals in the marketplace, right? And he sent me a couple of homes in Canton, and I said, Canton? I thought you wanted to live in Marietta. He says, well, this one's a good deal. And I said, okay, let's back up. Are we buying a deal, or are we buying a house for your family? Right. So if, for example, they say, well, here's a home and it's in this other school district that they haven't told you they wanted to be in, or it's like a 3-bedroom home when they told you they really wanted a 4-bedroom home or something like that. You could say, hey, listen, I went back over my notes, and your top priority, according when we spoke initially, was to have a 4-bedroom home. This one's a 3-bedroom home. Did you catch that? I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. And they say, yeah. I say, so just in an effort to make sure we don't, you don't waste time seeing a home that's not going to be a fit, has there been something in your criteria that changed that we should discuss again? Well, no. So help me understand why a 3-bedroom is acceptable, why this home would be a potential match. And they say, well, oh, it has a basement, and that extra room in the basement is where I'd set up my, guitar stuff. And so that would work. Okay, so it's not necessarily a 4-bedroom home. It's a 4-bedroom home or a 3-bedroom home with some other rooms somewhere else. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, so now I've asked some more detailed questions. I can be better at bringing them to the homes that they want to see, and they feel heard and better understood. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So sometimes we're going super fast and sometimes we got to slow down. But the question is always, it's what you're showing me is different from what I was expecting you to want. Help me understand what has changed. Well, nothing has changed. I still need a 4-bedroom home. So what was it about this home you really liked? Well, I really liked the fact that it was, the kitchen was open to the family room, and it had a 2-story family room. So it sounds like a 2-story family room is important to you. To help me understand that, tell me more about that. Right? Well, I want my kid to be able to yell from the top of the stairs down to the couch. Okay, great. If there was a perfect home, if we found a perfect home that did not have a 2-story family room, would you consider purchasing it? No, I'm never buying a home without a 2-story family room. Great. Now I've carved off half the homes that they could possibly want to see in the future. Right? So I'm trying to figure out what is a need, what is like a must have, and then what is like a I'd kind of like to have, but I'd buy it anyway. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. There may be somebody in the crowd today that tuned in specifically to hear Heather give her speech. So Heather, would you mind sharing your dialogue around Keller offers and your process Keller offers and knock real fast?
Okay. Like role play.
So how should we let's set the stage where I'm similar to yesterday. I'm a seller. Actually, why don't we set the stage where I'm a FISBO and you're reaching out to me, and this might be a product that I'd like to learn more about, and you're just gonna essentially court me and see if you can meet.
Okay.
Ring ring.
Hang on, let me pull up my little script here so that I don't go rogue and just start talking about crazy things.
Okay.
Okay. Ring 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 ring.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Heather with Keller Williams. How are you today?
Oh, hey Heather, what's going on?
Not much. Hey, so I'm looking here online and I wanted to make sure I'm speaking to the owner of 1234 Main Street, the house with it's got a really beautiful white gazebo in the backyard. Is that you guys?
Yeah, thanks. We built that gazebo ourselves. Yeah, I'm the owner.
I was just going to ask if you guys built that because it looked like a custom piece. That's really nice.
Yeah, very, very good, by the way. Keep going.
So awesome. So I see that you have it listed for sale by owner. Are you currently working with an agent, or are you guys still representing yourself?
We're trying to sell it ourselves.
Okay, how's it been going? Have you guys had a lot of showings and any offers?
Not really. We've had a decent amount of showings, but nobody seems to be interested in submitting an offer.
Okay, what's your time frame? When are you looking that you need to be out of the house by?
I'd like to be in my new house by Christmas.
Oh, cool. Do you have it picked out already? Do you know where you're going?
No, I was looking actually. I was going to start interviewing agents to chat with me about what that process might look like. Maybe yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Okay, and do you need to sell this house first before you guys can move to the new house?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I need the equity out.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm really glad I got you on the line here because I'm certified in Keller Offers and Keller Knock program, the Knock Home Swap. So we have two really great options that I think would really work for you. If you're interested in just, having a cash buyer buy your house and then you guys can move forward, I could come out, get you a cash offer in as quick as 72 hours. Or we also have something which I think might be better in your case, which is the knock home swap, which is where we would actually go look and find the house that you want to move into. So you'd be in there well before Christmas. Mm-hmm. We would buy that house. You could move into that house. And then only after you're all settled and everything's done, then we would put your other house, the one you're currently living in with the gazebo, on the market and sell that one. And because you'd already be in the new house, we wouldn't have to, keep the house clean and ready for showings and open houses. So both of these would actually probably work out really well for you. Is that something you think you might be interested in?
Yeah, I don't really like the idea of the iBuyer or like the cash offer. I know that's probably not going to get me as much as I'd like for the home, but that other one sounds really nice. Do you want to like hop on a Zoom call or something? How do you want to meet with me?
Yeah, that would be awesome. If you want to do a Zoom call for the initial, information intake, we can do that. But if you want me to come to the house, I can also do that. What would work for you? Typically, I set appointments Monday through Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Do you have any availability in any of those times?
Yeah, we could do like maybe 12:30 on Thursday. Would that work?
Let me check my schedule because I'm usually Thursdays is pretty booked for me. Could you do the Friday or is it pretty much going to have to be the Thursday this week?
I could do Friday. And why don't we do in person, because my wife's going to want to meet you as well.
Awesome. That's what I was just going to ask you. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you is, has this been on the market before on the MLS, or is it just strictly for sale by owner?
Just for sale by owner.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put you down for that. And then I will see you then on Friday.
Beautiful. Great job. The only thing I would maybe, and I want to make sure I understand the rule. If it's been on the market in the last 60 days or whatever, does it make it not eligible?
For the offers, it does. But I just wanted to make sure, because even though he said he wasn't interested in that, I still wanted to present that as an option just so they knew they had what a cash offer would be.
Okay. I would probably not mention that on the intake call, just because we want to book the appointment. We don't want to create an issue where they say, oh, no, it has been on the market, or I don't have enough equity or something like that. And then they're like, oh, Heather, you're not going to be a match for me. Have a nice life. Like, you need to get in front of them.
Okay.
So great job. That just that one question I'd probably leave off. Any thoughts or questions about what you guys just heard?
I love how she asked about Thursday or Friday, so she could kind of see how flexible he was. It seemed like.
No, completely. And she also said, I also loved how she basically created boundaries right away. This is when I'm available.
For sure.
She implied that she was, busy and a professional, right? If you called your doctor and said, hey, I'm calling for my, a well check, they're like, okay, well, it looks like we have something on June 10th, 2023. Will that work? Right? Like they expect you to be busy, right? You're a trained professional. You're out there in the market we're out there in the marketplace every day, right? So we expect you to be busy. So you don't want them to say, well, how about like 45 minutes from now? And you're like, okay, great, be there, right? That gives you no time to prepare. That gives you no time to like get your mind right. It gives you no time to, you know what I'm saying? So I loved how you set the boundaries right off the bat. And then you even implied that like you had a commitment at one time and you pushed for another time. Great job, Heather. Great job.
The other one thing that I would recommend, and I learned this from Nicole Ritchie, is that say, and what is the best email address to get you at? Because I'll send you a calendar invite just as a reminder for both of us.
Oh, I like that.
Not what is your email address? What is the best email address?
Best email address. Got it.
Because otherwise they'll just give you the fake email address like I do.
Yeah, I do that too. I have the one that I give out for like store coupons and things like that.
Yep.
That was good. She had total control over the conversation the whole time.
That's kind of been a running theme today, hasn't it? Right?
Yeah.
The person that asked the most questions has the control, and they give, when that conversation is over, like if, for example, let's say Heather and I are speaking and I'm just asking probing questions, letting her speak, asking another probing question, letting her speak, right? When we part ways, she's going to say to herself, man, I really like that Bill guy. And she's not going to quite be able to figure out why she likes me. But the reason why she likes me is because she did all the talking. People like to talk. And I got what I wanted, which was I took the conversation wherever I wanted it to, and I got plenty of data. And she got her way because she got to talk the whole time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. This was fun. Have an awesome day. By the way, if you ask Kelly what your profit share was for the month, profit share has been posted. Happy 21st of the month. If you want to learn more about profit share, I have got 2 videos in the email that I've been sending out weekly for a long time. And as probably most of you guys know, it's a topic I'm pretty passionate about, and would love to give you some tips and strategies and scripts and dialogues and mindset around it. If that's something that you'd like to spend some more time in productivity coaching, more than happy to oblige. Okay, so have an awesome day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for sharing,
Thanks, Bill.
Heather.
Thank you, Bill.
No problem. Have a great day.